Hi guys, it's album review time. We've got Rockett Love and Galactic Circus. Before I talk about this great album, I just want to say I'm now selling merch. If you want to click the link below that I put in the description, you can go to the merch page and buy loads of stuff. Check it out, guys. Okay, so Rockett Love and Galactic Circus. This album's coming out on the 22nd of September on Pride and Joy Music. Rockett Love are a Swedish melodic rock, AOR, heavy rock band. I say many genres because they do touch upon a few, which I'll get onto when I come upon the album. So first of all, let's get on to, say, for fans of. There are some of their Swedish counterparts, I suppose, that you could compare some of this music to. Eclipse, Crazy Licks, maybe Treat even more. But also I would say Winger, the American band Winger, obviously the classic rock band Winger. They have got some comparisons to those. And I suppose where, you know, this band do touch upon, like I said, different genres, a bit similar to Winger. And I think the vocalist, there's some similarities there to Kip Winger as well. So a great vocalist. We'll get on to the musicians as well in a minute. But this, reading about this album itself, it was a collaborative effort from the band. And you know what? I think when bands write an album and produce an album, you can tell it's a band. You know, there are some great collaborations when it comes down to, you know, Frontiers do it, don't they? They put musicians together, and sometimes they don't even meet in the studio. They don't write together. Someone's writing the songs for them even sometimes. And sometimes it just doesn't gel. Sometimes it does, by the way. They're not all bad. Some of them are some of the best albums you hear. But when you hear a band making an album together, it's something about it. There's something that clicks and you can tell it's a band. And this is a band. It's a live band. They play live. So they are a proper band. It's not artists from around the world put together. So before I get on to the musicians and the music, I want to talk about the production on this album. So it is perfect. A great production, not too overlaid with guitars, not too many guitar layers. Drums are not drowned out. Every instrument is just spot on. It was produced by Stefan Westerlund, who is in the band, and Daniel Samuelsson, who's also in this band. So that's the vocalist and guitarist. It's mixed and mastered by Eric Martinsson from Eclipse. He has his hands in a lot of bands, especially from Sweden. He mixes a lot of stuff and produces and mixes, and everything he lays his hand on does sound this way. It sounds perfect. It's just brilliant. It's really bright. It's really punchy. Like I said, every instrument just shines through brilliantly. So production-wise, superb. So let's get on to the people in the band. Daniel Samuelsson on lead vocals. Like I said, there's a few similarities. I think that to Kip Winger, he's got that sort of feel to his vocals. A great vocalist. He can soar. He's got a great range, whatever range he's in. Love his vocals, and he sounds different as well. He's, you know, you could never lump him in with some of the bands I've already spoken about and say he sounds similar. He definitely got his own style, which I love, and that will make bands go far. When you've got your own style, the vocalist sounds a bit different than other, you know, people in this genre, it'll work, and it really does. Stefan Westerlund on the guitar, and Gustav Eklund also on the guitar. This album, like I said, although it always sticks in with the melodic rock, AOR sort of genre, heavy rock genre, it doesn't stray so far away from that, but they incorporate different little parts, and each song sounds a little bit different, which makes it such an interesting listen. Why would you want 11 tracks of the same track? Oh, we'll get onto the tracks themselves and you know, tell you where it pulls their influences from and different generations of music and stuff like that. But all in all, it's an AOR melodic rock, melodic hard rock album. But these guitarists are just, you know, they're all over this album, no matter what sort of song it is. Brilliant guitar work. There's some really sort of technical, fast playing, but some great melodic melody lines all the way through it. Some great riffing. There's some great riffs on this, and I'll point those out as well. Dennis Westman on the bass and Fredrik Arlin on the drums. Yeah, they just round off a brilliant rhythm section. Absolutely superb rhythm section. So tight. This is the third album in, so you know they really sound like they're matured on this album. I haven't actually heard the other two albums. So it does sound like a mature album. I'm not comparing it because I can't, but it's just a great album. And I've read reviews on the other albums actually, and it said there was a big step up from album 2 from what I've heard from album 1. And there usually is, to tell you the truth. A debut's usually finding your feet. Don't really know if this is a step up from album 2, but what I hear, I absolutely love. I can't actually find who the keyboardist, the synths on this album, but they play a great part in this. I mean, it is guitar driven, but there's certain songs that really come in with some really cool synth work. So I'm not sure who the musician is, whether one of the guys in the band does it. I'm not sure, but it's definitely worth a mention. I can't find it anywhere. It just mentions vocals, guitars, bass and drums. But it is, they are quite a hard rock band basically, so I can understand why the synths are not right out there, but they are on there and they sound great for what they are. Okay, let's get on to the tracks. Never Look Back.
Never look back. We're never the same. Throw it away.
This was the first single. I reacted to this song. I love this song. There's a cool sort of minor riff that starts the track, and then we're off to a brilliant, brilliant opener for this album. There's a super catchy AOR chorus. You're going to hear me say catchy chorus quite a lot. That just captures the best of the band and the great Swedish melodic rock scene in general, really. I mean, it just sums up what we've been getting out of Sweden for so many years now. And of course, the first of great many guitar solos. But that is a great song. You can check that out now on their YouTube channel. Go and check out Never Look Back. You're going to love it. Next up is the next single, Too Much Water Under the Bridge.
Too much water under the bridge.
Great song again, great choice for a single. Another brilliant riff starts this track. It's a more heavy, sort of dirty sort of riff through the verses here, almost giving a sort of late 90s sort of metal feel at times for me, and then switching to like a 70s rock feel in the chorus, but so catchy. It's a great mixture of styles, and they do that quite a bit, that sort of transitions from one to the other seamlessly. You know, it just fits perfectly. A great track as well. Running Out of Time is track 3, sort of medium to fast paced. The pace is picked up a little bit slightly from the first couple of songs. And there's a bit of an attitude about this song, an almost slightly punk attitude. I'm not saying it's a punk song, but it's got those elements. It's got an attitude like it. Almost like the new Eclipse album. They inject some of that sort of punk attitude, almost like that really. And it's a very cool, energetic rocker that has this sort of start-stop rhythm in the verses. And of course, a great running, catchy chorus. A blistering solo, and the song sort of makes a great 1-2-3 punch to start it off. And then, well, talking about 1-2-3 punches, then we get onto an even better track, Under the Gun. Love this one. One of the riffs of the album as well kicked this song off. Almost Dokken-esque minor riff, leads to a ballad-esque verse, and then leads to a brilliant modern rock chorus. There's a bit of a darker side to this song, and there are to this band sometimes. They sort of, and this is a really good example of that, and it's a brilliant side of the band. I love it. The band are excellent at keeping the listener captivated with the different styles, like I said at the beginning of this review, but never straying from their melodic rock AOR territory. Easy Come and Easy Go is the next track. It's a medium paced song. It's a cool groove laden song that seems like, when I'm hearing this, I think it'd be a great live track. I've heard this band are a great live band as well. Lyrically, I believe it's about trying to fulfill your dreams in making music. But of course, that's never easy, is it? But it's great use of, and I haven't mentioned this yet, brilliant use of backing vocals here. Reading about the band, I believe they all contribute to that, to backing vocals. And, it really does show. And that's another great addition to this band. On the Radio is next. If only, eh? A beginning riff that almost gives me Van Halen vibes, and we get a great summer vibe here. There's a couple of songs like that. It's a song that just reminisces musically, but also lyrically, harking back, I believe, when hard rock, this sort of hard rock and melodic rock ruled MTV and the airwaves. Oh, come back, please. Such a fun rock and roll vibe. Talk to You Later is the next track. This is a medium to fast paced track, almost early 2000s feel here, like rock and metal. This one's got one of the most catchiest choruses on the album, and that's saying a lot. But it's almost split in two bits. I don't know if it's the bridge to the chorus or it's the chorus that's split into two bits, but the lead up is just so catchy, such an earworm. Def Leppard would be thrilled to write it. You know, especially now. The summer vibe is strong here again. So much fun, so catchy. And there's a really cool, simple synth instrumental section on this as well. Like I said, I don't understand why synths are not mentioned, but they're definitely on here and they're great. Track 8 is The Angel's Cry. Oh yeah, another great song. One of my favourites here. As heavy riff gets you ready for this rocking track. Daniel Samuelson is the lead vocalist. He pushes himself in this track and you see the band returning to that darker vibe that I spoke about earlier on. Brilliant track. One of the favourites of the album for sure. Fly Away is the next track. It's a great track. There's almost ballad in nature, although not in pace. So it's not a really slow song. It's sort of slow to medium pace. The band hitting their AOR stride brilliantly here. Synth elements pop in and out to add some 80s elements as well, but it never feels like nostalgia bait. Do you know what I mean? It's not doing it just for nostalgia. They're really fresh sounding as well, this band. Track 10 is Last Men Standing. Love this track. It's a real stomp to this one as the bass gives it that stomp in the rhythm section. A huge chorus, again propelled by those brilliant backing vocals. Love this track as it pulls some influence from a few classic eras of rock and metal. The last track, track 11, is The Higher You Rise, The Harder You Fall. Again, really impressive vocals by Daniel Samuelson as he belts out those lyrics in the verses. I love the way the song sort of really dies down before the chorus with those sort of synth parts, and they lead you to, you guessed it, another super catchy chorus. Great songwriting on this song and across the album. So guys, this is a great album. Really recommend this. This is Rockett Love Galactic Circus. It's out on 22nd of September on Pride and Joy Music. Another great addition to the Swedish scene for sure. Let me know guys if you like the single so far, whether you're going to get the album, whether you've ordered it. It's well worth a listen, well worth a purchase. I'll see you soon.